Welcome to this program, Stop Your Members from Quitting. I'm Robert Scrobe, and I'm so happy that you are here today to talk about such an important topic about for any membership or subscription or a SaaS or product that you are delivering on a membership basis. We're going to talk about today how you can retain your members, how you can keep them forever, and really at least keep them for decades, and create a program that has that special sauce, that thing that is usually missing beyond delivering products and services. So I will keep an eye on the chat. So if you would like to paste a comment over in the chat box or a question, feel free. I'll look at that from time to time and refer back to that. So I appreciate you being here, and it's great to have you. One of the key things that when I'm working with clients is that as most of them are in this mindset of really focusing on delivering value, focusing on what it is that we can deliver that folks will want to give us money for. And in that mindset, they're really thinking almost exclusively of what sort of tool, what sort of information, what sort of content can we provide them that's going to make them want to give us money on an ongoing basis. And one of the key things that I really want to help you break away from is thinking of the only value you can deliver is via content. Because when you have that mindset, it's very self-limiting. And let me give you a couple examples. I'm going to do a quick screen share so that you can see a little presentation that I put together. But here are some things. One of the things that I often talk about is creating a vibrant tribe, and how to get your members to really connect with you on a tribal basis rather than only being focused on an exchange of value basis. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of examples of vibrant tribes. For instance, Harley Davidson. Here we have a tattoo that somebody took the Harley Davidson logo and had it drawn on their skin in a very permanent way. And now I'm not necessarily saying that your goal should be to have somebody tattoo your logo or maybe your photo onto their body, but that tribe, buying a Harley Davidson motorcycle and that decision is about a lot more than simply a convenient transportation. And if Harley Davidson were in the transportation business, they wouldn't be able to charge anywhere near what they're able to charge for their motorcycles. In fact, they are in they're in the vibrant tribe business. And so let's think for a second, what does Harley Davidson give to their customer beyond transportation? Feel free to comment in the chat. But they certainly, as Willie G. Davidson had said, they give the boring accountant the ability to ride around through small towns and scare people on Saturdays. And so that's an important distinction, that it's more about the way the customer feels when they use the product than it is the actual transportation value. And in fact, the transportation value for most Harley Davidson customers isn't really that important, because generally they're not riding it to get from one place to another. They're riding it for the experience and the feeling that it gives the customer. Think, how can you, in what you deliver, not only have the tangible value, but also have the value that they just love, the experience that they feel, how they feel when they engage with your products and services. Another vibrant tribe, of course, Starbucks. And so what does Starbucks give to their customers? The feeling of that this is a treat, that they're somehow special because they can afford to buy this treat for themselves. And so it's kind of like this, this pressing this button every time that customer buys a Starbucks. You're special. You're special. How can you make your customers, your members, your subscribers feel special because they bought from you? Another example of vibrant tribes are sports teams. Auburn, of course, doesn't get enough respect, simply because of of course, the team that they field, they choose to put on the field. Apologize. Well, I don't really apologize to the Auburn fans. You can post in the chat if you've been offended. But as a Florida State fan, I enjoyed to see Auburn lose at the national championship a couple of years ago. So, and certainly looking forward to seeing them lose this season. But the beyond, now that I've angered all the Auburn fans, why does that make you angry? Why do folks around the world, this is not a USA, college football is a USA phenomenon, but sports is a worldwide phenomenon. People from around the world, and even we can see, natives, Americans, centuries ago played sports, and individual tribes would get together and play games and root. How do you feel when your favorite sports team wins? Do you feel like maybe you got a personal victory as well? Do you feel that when the good guys win, you had a part of the victory? Maybe because you wore a particular pair of underwear, or because you walked in a certain way, or held your hand in a certain way during the game, or whatever it is that you do superstition wise during the game, that somehow you had a hand in the outcome. How can you make your members feel like a winner when someone within your membership wins? How can you create this community of shared victories where your member feels like they got a victory when someone else within the tribe got a victory? Next, CrossFit. It's just one of many sports fads right now. And of course, I had the privilege of watching the CrossFit Games this weekend. If you haven't tuned in, I certainly encourage you to. These monstrous specimens of humans that are able to do crazy and miraculous things with weights are competing against each other for the fittest in the world. And but CrossFit is more than an exercise regimen. It's a way of life. It's a belief system and a community. And so I hear over and over again that while there's a lot of tangible benefits, you don't have to worry about what you're going to do to work out. You don't have to think about what the workout of the day is. Those are simply the normal value. CrossFit is so much more than that. How can you make your members feel stronger, tougher, like they're a winner because they're part of your tribe? And next, finally, PETA. They are certainly a very vibrant and strong tribe throughout the world. The people for the ethical treatment of animals, and folks that are members of PETA feel fabulous because they are a member. They feel better than other people. And they feel superior. How can you make your members feel like they are superior to other mere mortals because they are a member of your tribe? Well, those 5 questions are exactly what we're going to cover in today's live cast. So I hope you are ready and ready for a fabulous program. But first, before we get into that, let me talk about why your members quit. And there are 5 main areas that the reason why your members quit, from sales, billing, orientation, to life changes that they have in their life, or even fulfillment problems. So let's talk first about sales. Members often quit because they don't see the value in what you're delivering, or they don't think that what you deliver is a fit for them, or it wasn't what they expected. These are kind of sales mismatches where you set up one expectation within your sales message, but then when you delivered, you didn't. There's a mismatch between what they thought they were going to get and what they actually received. Very common next problem where members quit is in billing. I actually have a consult with a client next week, and 24% of their members that quit, 24% of them are because of expired cards, or no available credit, or new expiration dates. These can be a tremendous reason why your members quit. They didn't intend to. They didn't call and ask. I mean, heck, there's a lot of reasons why they actually call and ask to quit. But in these cases, they didn't. They just, through apathy, they just kind of lost and no longer connected. And I know a lot of my clients, they'll call, they'll email, they'll put something in the mail, and even with all of those, unfortunately, at the end of the day, they still have a very large percentage of the members that quit because of billing problems. Next, orientation. I see a lot of members quitting because of orientation mistakes, where the client feels like there's too much to do, I can't handle it, I don't have money to implement it, I don't have the time, I can't do it, I'm not getting around to it, or this doesn't work, or it won't work for me, or I don't know where to start. All these questions, if you are hearing any of these things where folks are feeling overwhelmed, they're not getting engaged, or I can tell you one of the pet peeves when I've surveyed membership programs in the past is they're like, people buy and then they don't do anything, and then they quit and say the program didn't work. Well, orientation is the problem. And we're going to get into that in a little bit of detail. But so if you're seeing that, where a significant number of your members are quitting and they're not even getting engaged, they don't know what it is that you actually deliver, it's an orientation problem. Also, unfortunately, there can be changes in your member's life where they found a different solution, or this is no longer important, or there's been some traumatic event, or if they're a business, they're going out of business, or they just decided to change direction, or they outgrew this solution, or they got sick, or their family member got sick, or they love it, but they just need a break, and they'll be back. I can't tell you how many thousands of members I know that have told me, I'll be back. Or they just can't afford it. There's all kinds of reasons why folks will change, they won't they won't want what you have anymore. And then finally, it can come right down to crappy fulfillment. Either poor service, or broken links in the product, or slow response, or their package was late or lost, or they didn't get an answer, or they didn't get something that they expected. In the end, there are a lot of reasons why your members quit, and a lot of ways, a lot of things that can be working against you that are keeping your members from staying forever. And so these are one of the key things, and one of the things that we're going to talk about today is what we can do in order to overcome all these problems and build a vibrant tribe of members that love you, want to ascend, want to retain, and want to refer your membership to their friends. A little bit about me: for 2 decades, I've helped hundreds of membership programs launch, beat back churn, and grow. For first 10 years was with nonprofits, which is a lot of folks that I talk to discount, say, I'm a for-profit, so nonprofit experience is really not relevant to me. But the key is nonprofits understand all these soft benefits that are not to do with ROI, because quite frankly, that's all they have. And when I worked with nonprofits and then incorporated these very specific solutions to problems, then suddenly the programs that I was working with got 5 times the conversion, 5 times the retention, and it's the combination of the nonprofit and the for-profit techniques that's the real magic here, and why I'm able to get such great results. The most recent 10 years have been with for-profit companies focused around launches. I've authored more than 5 books on tribe building techniques, including the official Get Rich Guide Information Marketing. But I was around back in 2004 as this whole monthly continuity concept really took off. And this concept of membership completely exploded, because before, of course, there had been CD of the month and book of the month club and all these things where they were essentially bill me offers, where they would send you a book and an invoice, and you either sent the book back or you sent a check back. And those businesses have thrived for years. And so, nothing we're talking about here, has been invented by me. But what happened around 2004, as the internet really started to grow and thrive, was that the monthly charges became a lot more popular. And where before customers were very resistant to auto pay monthly charges, it suddenly became okay. And as a result, monthly memberships exploded, and there was a huge growth in the industry, only to come crashing down or through the Great Recession. There was a huge outgoing of members, and I can remember kind of really being at the in the middle of these industries, and essentially seeing half of all the membership programs that existed in 2007 be gone by 2010. And it became difficult, because here in today's world, there's never been more competition. There's so many different charges that are trying to get on that card, that it's very difficult today to become one of the programs that people are going to pay for. There's people, customers are overwhelmed. There's already so much free stuff. There's free podcasts. Why would I ever want to buy anything with the quality that these folks put out? I can't listen to all the podcasts I got. Why am I going to buy something that I'm going to listen to? They're just really kind of frustrated, because they've been so disappointed in the past by other programs that have not performed. They've been all these big promises, but they just didn't deliver. They're distracted. There's so many different things going on that it's hard to keep up. There's social media. There's Pokemon Go. There's video games. All these video games that are coming out on my phone. Why would I ever want to read and engage and learn anything? And there's apathy. 65% of voters say that they have not contacted an elected official at the local level. So it's like city commissioner, county commissioner, state rep, state senator, member of commerce, a member of Congress, U.S. senator, or president in the last 2 years. 65% have said they've not contacted anybody. This is up from about 25% said that they had not contacted anybody 20 years ago. And so you folks have a lot of apathy, where they're just, I can't do anything about it anyway. Why should I care? And this is how they have about their lives and about their business. And so when they see your offer about improving their lives, they're just apathetic about it. And that's the most difficult to overcome. But when done right, memberships can really, really grow your business. I'm going to show you an example in just a minute from Jim Augustus Armstrong, who, making the changes that we're going to talk about here, he was able to double sales conversion for new members and also double retention for the members that he received. Also, I got to show you an example. I actually have a thing on my desk that I'm going to open up the camera in just a few minutes and show you. Richard Menig with Auto Training Institute, I'm going to show you their member welcome kit that increased membership by 156%. Michael Rosbrook sold $120,000 within 4 hours and launched a brand new membership program. We'll talk a little bit about what he did. And then also Ron LeGrand added another $2 to $3 million in his business using the strategies that we're going to talk about today. But the biggest thing is you've got to stop churn from sucking money out of your membership. It is a devious, persistent challenge, and that's what we have got to do, and that's what we're about today. But without data, you're just another person with an opinion, said Edwards Deming, who is really the modern, all this stuff about management and doing management right. And now there's so many books out, from Scrum to Traction to Scaling Up to maximum maximum output management. All these books and all these strategies, Deming was the first. And so as a nod to the great leader, we're going to start with numbers. So these are a few, this is a little chart that shows you if you're adding 1,000 new members a year, this chart shows the natural level of subscribers you'll have by renewal rate. So if 70% of your members are staying from 1 year to the next, you'll keep 3,333 members. That's about how many members you're going to have. If you are able to increase your renewal rate to 80%, well then your number of new subscribers will increase up to 5,000. But then another 10% increase from 80 to 90% actually doubles your membership up to 10,000. And if you go from 90% to 95%, you double again, and the natural rate of membership is 20,000 members. I hear from so many of my clients that they're so focused on, I really want to grow to 5,000. I want to grow to 10,000 members. I want to grow to 100,000 members. And they focus solely on generating new subscribers. And new subscribers are important. But you must also focus on retention, because retention helps grow your membership. If you're simply adding the same number of new subscribers, but holding on to them for a little bit longer, you can make huge differences in your total number of members, because your members aren't slipping through your hands as fast, so you are able to hold on to more. Your retention rate determines your wealth. And if you are allowing too many members to slip through, if you're allowing Mr. Churn to devastate your business by sucking money out of your membership, by sucking members away, then you're simply not going to ever grow as fast or as large as you could have. Also, one of the things, as I discovered this, one of the real keys that I discovered was that renewal rates were not consistent from year to year. And this is mostly focused around annual renewals, but so for an annual renewal, what I found was members maybe, when we got into it, the average renewal rate was 85%. So that's pretty typical for subscription programs nationwide. 85% from year to year is really rather consistent. I've certainly seen a lot of places where it's a lot lower. Even 50% from on annual memberships from 1 year to the next, but 85% is pretty typical. But when we dug down into the numbers, what we discovered is that the first year renewals were a lot lower than 85%. In fact, they were around the 55% rate. And then after they'd been a member, renewed once, by the time they were renewing the second time, those members we kept at a rate of around 85%. And then the members that had been around a couple of years, now we were keeping them at 90. And then finally, from year 4 then on, they were more at a 95%. And that really set off a 7-year journey for me, which was how do we figure out how to get to that second year renewal rate at year 1. So let's make the goal, instead of 55%, make it 85% for the first year. And then how can we make it 95% for the second year? And now the membership programs I work with are well over, on average, 95 to 98% renewal rates. And the reason why is we really focused, we just didn't count them as a member for our compensation formulas and incentive bonuses until after they renewed that first time. And so as a company, we became very focused on how can we get that person to renew their membership. I remember having conversations about member welcome kits and what we would send out, and folks were like, "Well, why do we send out these member welcome kits? Why, we can cut costs, or why do we send out printed newsletters? Let's cut costs." And now, as soon as we started measuring that, we want them to instead of the focus being on getting the new member and then fulfilling them for as least expensive as possible, when it became getting the member and keeping them in for 12 months, and what can we send them for the first 12 months that's going to keep them in for a year and more, then all of a sudden all that changed. And then it was, how can we be more creative about what we send them that gets them engaged, that gets them to a quick win, that gets them to be part of the community, and that helps them get real results. That changed everything. Let me give you a little example in terms of monthly continuity. This is an example of a report that I have pulled on behalf of a client. And this is really typical of the reports that I see, especially when I am working with clients, that are coming in for an assessment and ask me to pull their numbers. Is you can see here that this is that they had the bulk of the dropouts were right there within the first 60 days. In fact, 1,500 of the members that have quit within this program, and I'm just eyeballing it, but it looks like there's about 3,000 members here that are represented, but about 1,500 of them, 1,700, are right here within the first 60 days. And if we can save them, and instead of having them quit so early, then we can completely change the relationship. And what the switch to monthly continuity really showed me was that it doesn't matter whether you're using annual renewals or monthly renewals. The game is won and lost in the first 30 to 60 days. And as so even if you have an annual renewal, then you still only have 30 to 60 days to get that member engaged, or they're off the charts and they're not paying attention to you. And when you come around next year to renew them, they have forgotten about you 10 months ago. And you are so old news that they don't care what you send. So it is critical within the first 30 to 60 days to engage them. You can see if we extend this out to 90 days, it's even more dramatic how many of these members quit within such a short period of time. I received quite a few questions as those of you were registering, and so I wanted to go through that, and I appreciate everybody that asked questions. And here's what is a churn rate, and what should I be shooting for as a goal? Your churn rate is the rate of members that quit this month divided by the number of members that you had at the beginning of the month. And that's your churn rate. In terms of what you should be shooting as a goal, it depends a lot on industry. And Sarah's question was, what are some industry stats? And that is it really completely depends on the industry that you are trying to market to. And that's one of the things that I want to offer you an opportunity to get a free assessment. If you would like for me to pull those types of reports that you saw, what I can do is here. These are what one of the reports look like. It kind of shows you. This is from January 2015 to July at this point. It shows you the number of members and kind of the number of active subscriptions. So we could even track how this is like a future indicator of what we're expecting. It gives you the average lifetime value of all the products, or of all the memberships and subscriptions that they have bought, plus the lifetime value of everything else the customer has bought from you. Gives you attrition rates or churn, your growth rates, kind of goes back and outlines some of your numbers, your attrition or churn rate for the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and gives you some monthly churn figures. And then also it dissects these rates of when folks are quitting, how long your members are staying in the program, and just kind of overall growth fluctuations, and how your new members are tracking along with your dropped members. So if that is something you like, I would certainly recommend it. What will happen is you just get this assessment. We'll work together to create your membership rapid growth plan, and then you'll have your plan and can grow your membership. So there is a link right there on the right in the sidebar. If you would like me to help you stop your members from quitting, you can request that free assessment, and we'll go from there. So one of the things that it's important to recognize is why your members don't engage. Because so what we have here is a chart where excitement is on the vertical axis and time is on the horizontal. And so when folks start out, they have no idea who you are, so they're not excited about you at all. They're ambivalent. They don't really care about you at all, one way or the other. And then as they get to know you, maybe they see an ad and they go, "Oh, okay, that's interesting," and they're aware. And then the next is maybe they request something and you give it to them, and then so they like you, and then you make another commitment and fulfill it, and so now they trust you, and you invite them to buy something from you, and so they become a member or they join. And really, as soon as they join, because you were probably talking to them about some problems that they had in their lives in the business, and that sales letter formula, problem, agitate, solution. You go through that sales letter formula. At the end of it, they're really pretty anxious to buy in order to get out of pain. And so they're real excited because you've been beating them in the head with the pain and agitating it. It's like, oh, all right, fine, great. Well, I gotta get this. And so they buy, and then you deliver the product. Now they open the product, get into it, and they're like, oh man, there's a lot more here than I really expected. I don't know if this is really what I had in mind. And then they come up with excuses. Well, I don't really know that this is for me. I see how it would work in other cases, but it doesn't work in my case. This is not right for me. And then they get frustrated. They're like, oh man, this is crap. And this is where they actually will be like, no, it doesn't work. It never worked, and you're lying. And then they try to avoid you because now when they see it, it reminds them of the pain that you put them in. And then because they got overwhelmed and made excuses, now they're trying to avoid you. So they're not even opening your email. And then they disappear. And what we're going to talk about today is how to overcome this and get out of it and actually kind of take this buy and move it up the chart. And in fact, we're going to show you step by step how that can happen. So I do appreciate those of you that played along a few moments ago in the Harley example and the Vibrant Tribe, Alan, David, Jason, Patricia. I appreciate you, and feel free if you or anyone else have any questions or anything else you'd like to ask, feel free to engage and ask away. So next is, so what we're going to go through in order to accomplish that are these 4 steps: attract, recruit, orient, and transform. There's says a little more there, but these are the real core of what we're going to go through. Number 1, attract member prospects with your message. What you have to have is a real profound understanding of your potential member, communicate their deepest frustrations, fears, and desires, and have a mission that is the why beyond your simple return on investment. And let me give you an example of this from Jim Augustus Armstrong from the Flooring Success Systems. Jim serves flooring dealers, folks that are the flooring dealers are installing carpets, installing tile floors, installing hardwood floors in residential and commercial places throughout the country. And the independent flooring dealer is really pressed because it's squeezed in the middle between the big box stores who really just want to unload product and essentially just outsource or jobber they've essentially made the installation into a commodity that it doesn't really matter who installs the thing. It's just that you buy it at the big box store. So he is talking to the person who has been commoditized on one end by these big box stores, and on the other end, you got Joe working out of his truck who will give away the product in order to get the installation. So on one end, you got companies that are giving away installations in order to get the deal, and you got others that are giving away the product in order to get the installation. And as if you got overhead and staff and a showroom, you're getting squeezed out in the middle. So recognizing this, Jim is a brilliant bullet writer, and he really gets to the problems that his customers have. Like, you lose another sale because you can't match Home Depot's $39 installation. It's a big lie that Home Depot marks up their products to make up the difference. But try telling that to your customer when they got $39 on the brain. You spend $8,000 on a full-color newspaper circular, and no response you get from a lady who wants vinyl in a tiny bathroom in a rental. You see a customer and her best friend at Starbucks, and it turns out the best friend just installed flooring from Lumber Liquidators. There's no such thing as a weekend. One week just blends into another for you. You drive by your competitor's store and you get that queasy feeling because their parking lot is packed full of cars. You notice one of the cars belongs to someone you thought was a loyal past customer. You reached for the Alka-Seltzer, I guess, which you keep in the car now. You've been working 50, 60, 70 hours a week so long that you pull up photos on your smartphone to remind yourself what your kids look like. It's Saturday and you're missing your daughter's soccer game again because you've got to work. How does it feel when another customer walks in your showroom wanting you to slash your prices until you bleed? So you do, but they buy from your competitor anyway because you're willing to slash, losing more money just to keep his installers busy. Your last vacation was your honeymoon. Your spouse files a missing persons report with the police because they haven't seen you in weeks. You must be ruthless with hitting the pain points that your customers are feeling. And I see it over and over again where somebody is selling membership and it's come be a member, and then I go and I click. Folks ask me all the time for assessments, and if you're in this position, don't be afraid. I'm happy to talk with you, work with you on it, and show you what's important. But they ask me to do an assessment, and they have a page where it says, join, and then I click on it and it has the pricing. Well, certainly the pricing is important to you, but it's not important to your prospective member until after they understand what problems your membership is going to solve. And then, in fact, it's not important then either, because if the problems are big enough that they want to solve, they don't care what your membership costs, because the pain that they're feeling is more important. And so one of the key things that, I know, yes, this is all about stopping churn and retaining your members and keeping them for a long time. And I'm talking about a new customer attraction piece, but how you attract your members is how you keep them. And if you're trying to attract new members with a message of, hi, we've got a membership, I'm in the membership business, would you like to be a member? Hi, we've got this great program, I've got this great library of resources for you. You're not going to keep your members, and you're not attracting as many as you can either. So what is good for retention is also good for attraction. And that's why in particular in Jim Augustus Armstrong's example, what was happening is he had, and we're going to talk about recruitment next. That's exactly the next thing, is focus on desired outcomes. And with Jim, he had a wonderful business. He had created several ways that flooring dealers can get new customers and beat big box stores when he launched. He's been in business more than 10 years now. And so, the first year he had a handful of ways, marketing methods, and then the next year he came out with a few more, and the next year he came out with a few more, and he had this great membership. And there was over 45 different ways a flooring dealer could generate customers for their business. I asked, what is your 3 best ways? What are the 3 that generate the fastest, quickest results? And that was where his core 3 was born. And that was the big key in doubling conversion, so that rather than selling, here are 45 ways, instead it's, hey, we've got more than 40 ways that you can get a new client. These are the 3 fastest. What if I told you I know more than 50 ways that you could recruit and retain your members, but I'm going to show you the #1 fastest way that you can recruit and retain your new members. Does that sound appealing? You don't really care as much about the 40. You really want the one, right? This is the one. Is focus on their pain and recruit them with a very distilled, focused message that is all about solving their core problem in the simplest and easiest way. That is what creates conversion. And yes, we're going to talk about how to keep them in just a moment, but this is what maximizes your conversion and gets them into your program as soon as possible. So another example from Michael Rosbrook. We talked about his launch in just a couple moments ago. Michael Rosbrook serves CPAs and attorneys who market to individuals with IRS tax problems. So that's a little bit of a mouthful. So the end clients are, there's you'd be surprised, but anybody that is employing independent contractors either has IRS tax problems or soon will have problems with the IRS. It's just part of it. So anyone in construction, anybody that employs independent contractors is going to have an IRS tax problem. And Michael Rosbrook shows CPAs and attorneys how to market for folks that have those particular problems. And he has a system, the 6 steps to a 7-figure tax resolution practice, finally revealed how anybody can get those pay in advance tax problem clients every month. If you think about how a normal CPA works, ordinarily you bring in all your stuff, they prepare your tax return, and then they send you a bill. And now the the CPA has to kind of sit on his hands and wait until you get around to paying your bill. And maybe you're very responsible and pay your bill promptly, or maybe even before you leave, but in general, his other clients aren't. And so being able to get pay in advance clients solves a real challenge. And as a bonus, you get free months of his membership program. It's critical that you know where your members are going, what it is they want to achieve, what is their dream destination, and then you can help them get to their dream destination. And that pivot is everything. And so rather than selling membership, sell solutions. I'll repeat that because you probably want to write that down. Instead of selling membership, sell solutions. And then once you have them as a member, then you can get them engaged. And we're going to talk about just that. So that is step 2, is recruiting. Now step 3 is orientation. And what you're doing here with orientation is combating all of the grab and dashers, the folks that would come into your membership, grab your crap, grab your resources, your insights, your tools, and then run off. And you know what? There's going to be some number of grab and dashers anyway. What we're about here is focusing on all the other reasons why somebody might come into your membership and unfortunately not engage with your program and not get results. So what I'm going to do is go to I want to show you on this orientation side a member welcome kit, and I told you I would show you Richard Menig's kit from the Auto Training Institute, and it is very good. And then also hot off the presses is a GKIC kit, and I recommend that you actually, this kit would cost you, this is for a $45,000 coaching program, so it's a little expensive for you to get, but if you'd like, you can get your hands on this one by, you can go to robertskrobe.com/GKIC, and for $59, you can join, you can actually see the offer and then join and get this kit. So I'll go through this. This is brand new, hot off the presses, just released. So if as you have questions, feel free to ask. And but I'll just briefly go through here and kind of show you what we do in order to orient new members to your program. One of the key things that we're going to figure out is, what is it that makes one of your members successful? What are the real keys? What are the pivots between unsuccessful members and successful members? One of the things that we really figured out with Auto Training Institute was coming to the in-person training. So again, this was a $45,000, or is a $45,000 training program, and they pay $1,500 a month for 30 months. And if you want to continue receiving that $1,500 a month for 30 months, you got to get them engaged. You got to make sure that their spouse feels great about the investment and that they are excited to be part of the program. So what I did as part of this member welcome kit is really the whole kit is designed to get them to that first in-person training program. And as part of it, there is a brochure to sell them into the training program. And one of the key things that we did as part of this was really engage their spouse. So think of this for a second. Your spouse spends $45,000. Now, think also, this isn't you. You probably make good money, and you probably make more than $45,000 a year. But what if you are a owner of an auto repair shop? Sadly, most of them are not making $45,000 a year, not because they can't, but just because they don't know how to. And so here they're buying a $45,000 coaching program. It's glorious that they have that faith, but by goodness, their spouse doesn't have the benefit of seeing that presentation, and is probably worried sick about how they're going to pay for these bills. So really quick within the welcome, we address the people around the customer, not just the customer themselves. So here we talk about, let me read this to you briefly. At ATI, we understand that everything you accomplish in your life is a result of the amount of support and encouragement you receive at home. And the better your spouse or significant other understands what you are doing, the more he or she is able to support you. It's for that reason Chubby's the president, and your coach encourage you to bring your spouse or significant other with you to align your shop for profit training program. While some of it will be boring shop talk, your spouse will enjoy a lot of other parts of the training. And if you have questions about what was said, 4 years are better than 2. With children's activities and other work commitments, this may be impossible. If it is, no problem. But if it is possible for you to bring your spouse or significant other, you're welcome to bring them his or your guest. So that was a part of it. Now, the other thing that we were getting is that a lot of the clients were trying to skip the training. And what they were doing was trying to get right to car count when instead they needed to focus on getting their margins right. So I created this poster that was really helping the member see the path and also make a case for why this had to be a 30-month program. So first thing they need to do is improve their pricing. Make sure that they're pricing properly for their service, pricing properly, mark up for their parts. They need to then put in the marketing in order to increase the car count, and that's appropriate, and that's what they do from months 4 through 9. Create the team, individual members and comp plans. One of ATI's real strengths is they understand the different compensation plans that auto repair shops need to have. To create systems, put in management, numbers and tracking, finishing the cabinet, installing the controls, transition from doer to owner. And I made this so that it was, kind of the story was like a new car build, which it was really mainly for the market because, somebody in the auto repair business is going to understand chassis, getting the wheels and, drivetrain, the engines, putting the frame on. So anyway, that was that. The other thing is I really wanted to also, if we have a moment, read to you this this letter. In auto race, this is the welcome letter. Auto racing, top driver spends years building and testing his race car before it ever hits the track. During the race, there are pit stops to adjust your car so it's ready for that one last dash to reach the finish line before anyone else. In your business, you don't get that type of preparation, and there aren't enough pit stops. You have to build your shop while you run it. Imagine if your driver had to build a car during the actual race. If re-engineering your shop feels overwhelming, I understand. But don't worry, we're here to help you. Let me skip down. It says, I'm on your side. My team is on your side. My goal is to help you build a business that generates a great income for your family, gives you some free time, creates an asset you can sell, and leaves your competitors with empty bays. What you want to do is remember how in the sales process, we went right to their problem, and then we agitated the problem and help make the transfer, to tell them how we were going to help make the transformation into the sale. Well, that's exactly what you're going to do again when you onboard the new member, is you want to go right back to that problem, agitate it, and help them overcome the resistance and the frustration that they're having in order to get results. Next is, this is GKIC's new welcome kit. You'll see that the team at GKIC that helped with this included Darcy and other folks there. They did a fabulous job, and you can see that it has a nice welcome letter, and we can read this. But then also, this is one of the things that I wanted to show you, and actually, this is what I want to show you here, and that there is a audio program on this, and there's actually a secret inside that will be pretty cool when you get it. But their audio program is focused not only on the training that we want to give. So there's 9 different areas of marketing that we teach them in this audio program. But in addition to that, there is a lot of theory and of values that we're communicating. And the purpose of this is to help orient them to the culture and help them understand what this is all about, so that when they receive the monthly newsletters and hear the monthly calls, they understand what's going on. So this is a critical part of onboarding them and getting them engaged. So let me get back to, I make a mistake here. PowerPoint, share. So that is a critical part of orienting your members into your tribe with beliefs, values, and culture. And over and over again, I try to do that with audio, because I just think that seems to work the best for orientation. All right, next is transform with breakthrough in skills, productivity, or return on investment. So there's a lot there, but the key word is transform. Kind of keeps getting back to that, isn't it? So I don't know about you, but there have been a lot of diet programs that I have bought, but I haven't implemented. And I have all the greatest I have all the the greatest intentions, but I just don't get around to it. And what you want to understand is that it's difficult. Like, just when I'm thinking about dieting, I bought the book Blood Sugar Solution in order to eat healthier. But when I read that, all I could think of is, oh man, I can't imagine going through life never having a Cuban sandwich again. Because that's got that bread, and that bread is sugar, and I might as well eat cake. And if I may as well eat cake, I'll just eat cake and ice cream. But I'm like, man, really? I can never again have a Cuban sandwich and black beans? It just felt crazy. And so I didn't, and I put it off. Well, with your members, when you are presenting your ideas and your strategies, they have those hang-ups. They have things that are going on inside their head that are keeping them from implementing, that are making it hard for them, because I can tell you that buying is a lot harder than doing. And what you have to do is create an incremental victory that allows your members to get some success without having to do so much work and so much ramp up. I see so many times in a business where there'll be like 5 or 6 steps where somebody will go, hey, I'm going to do a 6-part training, and at first we're going to teach them to create a mission, and then we're going to teach them how to create values and a culture. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's so much ramp up and there's so much to do that it's going to be hard for them to get results and build belief. And you don't have enough momentum to keep them implementing through that strategy. So it's important that you, one, keep the dream in front of them and keep them moving forward, and 2, make those steps as easy as possible. One of the things that I wanted to show you hot off the presses is with GKIC, we've gamified their new member onboarding strategy. And so, oops, I'm showing you the wrong thing. We have gamified the new member onboarding strategy. So members, and they have 3 easy steps, and we've actually created a 3x3x3 award when they do these 3 things. Activate their membership by logging on to the membership site, fill out and return the new member business profile, which is right here, and then register to attend the FAST Implementation Bootcamp and make your travel arrangements. Now, when they do this, they're going to become more successful more quickly. And quite frankly, if they come to boot camp, it's probably even more important than listening to the CD. So notice that these aren't necessarily getting them into the training. Now, sometimes I've got some examples from other clients that I've worked with that the list of 3 things that we've gamified and that we're giving them recognition for does have to do with the content, but in this case, not so much. And but the key is helping them get through those steps. If they get through these steps, it's a relief, because it's really just as good as buying, because now GKIC has them on their way to a boot camp, which is going to be a place that they're going to be able to resell them the dream, get them excited again, and help get them to grow their business. One more, the real key around this. Let me see. I've got another question that I wanted to. All right. Let me share this with you, because this is really the question that I am answering at the moment. And I want to thank you, Chris. Says, how do I get members engaged? Reduce the amount of member benefits we currently offer so we don't overwhelm members and prevent current members from quitting because of this reduction. So I showed you this chart before, which was all about how to, what was going on, how the excitement was waning, and how members were quitting before they were really growing. And the key is the easy win. And so I'm going to show you this chart for a second, and I'll go through it with you. Notice how if we have the same curve as we had a moment ago, where they're oblivious, they know, like, trust, and then they buy. And then you have a win. Now, that the win, I could do a whole live cast. Heck, there could be a 2-day seminar on the types of wins that you could help and create. So sometimes that, like with Weight Watchers, when you walk into Weight Watchers, that quick win is setting a goal that you're going to lose 10% of your weight. When I joined Weight Watchers, it's probably been 12 years ago now. You walk in, you pay your money, and the first thing they do is they give you a little kit, and then the lady goes, well, the first thing you do is then you stand on a scale. And she weighs you and she writes down the number. And for me, it was, I think, 237, 235, something like that. So she writes that number down. And then she says, and our first goal for you is to lose 23 pounds. Now, I'm 6 foot. So 235 less 23 pounds is not my ideal weight. It's probably another 25 or more pounds away from, or 25 or 30 pounds away from what my ideal weight is. But if they had said, all right, this is a program to get you to your ideal weight, then I'd have been overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, 50 pounds, you got to be kidding me. But by creating an incremental goal, something that I felt like I was able to accomplish, it made it feel doable, like it was something that I could achieve. And so many times in your business, when you are bringing on a new customer, you're talking about huge transformations, massive victories, big growth, and they get overwhelmed and don't believe that they can do it, and they're out. And then they make excuses why it won't work, and then they try to avoid, because every time you are there, if they admitted to themselves that your way worked, and that the only reason why they are unsuccessful is that because they haven't followed what you recommend or implemented your system, well, then they'd have to admit that they are lazy or that they're quitters. And they're not going to do that, are they? So the only thing they can do is to say your thing doesn't work. And the pivot is that you may not have overwhelmed them with stuff, but you could have so even if you deliver them a bite-size morsel of content, you overwhelm them with the goal and the transformation. Take one of the biggest info businesses today is Dave Ramsey, and he teaches people how to get out of debt. And I remember when my wife and I got married back in 1994, we owed more on our credit cards than we made in a year. And and we were driving old cars. And a year later, we had our first daughter, and now we're in even deeper. And it was a major struggle. I mean, it was all I can remember. One week, we paid all the minimum payments and paid our rent, and I had $9.78 left for the next 2 weeks worth of meals. $9.78. So that was all I could do to make the minimum payments. There was no concept of how I would be out of debt, have a house paid off, have all the cars paid off. That was way out of control. With Dave Ramsey's program, even if the path is getting your home paid off and growing wealth and being able to give, but it all starts with step one. It's creating a $1,000 emergency fund. If you save $25 a week, you can have $1,000 saved up, 40 weeks? Done. And so now it's a very doable, bite-size thing versus, and it gives the customer control, because now they have something that is within their realm of possibility. It gives them a clarity, because they know exactly what to do about it, and it gives them community, because it helps them. You're going to help plug them into the group. So the key is give them an opportunity to get an easy win. And again, this win could be, I just went down the road of setting a goal. It could also, like the Weight Watchers example, it could be in having them do a personality test, a Forte, or one of the other just some sort of, even I've seen the Myers-Briggs used because it's free, but some sort of way for the member to feel good about themselves and who they are. It could be a little thing to do where they implement it, a small task, but that you get them to do that win. Next is recognize them for that victory and for that win, and by inviting them to either post it on a forum or send it to you, or somehow engage. Next, because of that recognition, they believe a lot more. They have a belief in you, they have belief in your system, and most importantly, they believe in themselves and that they can do it, because you gave them some instructions, they did it, whether they did it halfway or the whole way. This is just like your children coming home from kindergarten with their art project. Whatever they bring home, it goes on the refrigerator, and you're proud of it as a family. And you got to do the same thing with your members when they're in this stage, to help them believe in themselves. When they believe in themselves, they'll take action. They will then get results, and then they'll be your members. So this is critically important that you focus on this outline. Here's another example that Ben Glass uses we work together in great legal marketing. He has a member referral letter system where members that are attorneys can send out this letter in order to generate new customers for their legal practice. Well, how hard is it for an attorney who is familiar with Microsoft Word already, right, to create and send a letter that and Ben tells them who to send it to, and by the way, within those instructions, encourages them to send him a copy of the letter. Now, for all of his new members who are using this onboarding system, when when Ben's team receives a letter, they know they can change the follow-up sequence for the ones that send the letter in. You can now stop reminding them about the letter. For everybody who hasn't sent the letter, you can be completely focused on get that letter in, send, make sure you get that referral letter, because that's the fastest way to get money. Um, Also, when they send in the referral letter, out goes a note that's handwritten from Ben that says, excellent job getting a referral letter out. I'm so proud of you. Please let me know what the results are. And so now they got this recognition for what they've done. And now it's, this positive reinforcement. And also for Ben, it gives a steady stream of case studies and examples of folks who joined, and within a few days and a few weeks maybe got 3 clients worth whatever, however many thousands of dollars, or 1 client. And so it's a great thing to use on coaching calls to recognize folks and the breakthroughs they've gotten, and to keep folks going. So that is that is really the key in order to get your members a quick result. So if you have, why don't we, if you, we'll open it up to your questions. So if you have questions and would like to ask them, go ahead and post them in that chat, and I'll take them in just a couple minutes. So as you have thought of anything that you would like to ask, or things that you would like to go over, one of the other things that I want to make mention of while we have the opportunity here. Anyway, I'll close out of that for just a second. But one of the things that I wanted to remind you about, if you are interested in the assessment, you can certainly click here. The other thing is, if you really liked this training and liked what we were talking about, you thought that this was something that might be helpful to you, you may very well want to check out the next training, and you can go ahead and register that for that right now. And the next program is called Low Churn Membership. And what we're going to talk about is, of all things, low churn membership. So what you can do is you can click that register today. It's actually, when you get to the site, it'll be called Minimal Churn Membership. I pivoted and changed the title to Minimal Churn Membership. I kind of like the what is that called when it goes through the rhyming of the S's, how the rhyming of the M's, how minimal and membership kind of went together. So alliteration, that's what it is. Anyway, I like the alliteration between the M and the M, so I went with Minimal Churn Membership. So but anyhow, whether you like the alliteration or not, click on register today, and I'll be happy to take that. So if you have a question, feel free to ask. And in the meantime, the other thing I wanted to, so this key where, that was the other thing I was going to show you. So the other key with the GKIC kit, in that kit, there are a number of trainings that they get as part of membership, and so one of the ways of generating a recognition was by giving the information to you or to somebody on your team. And I've heard many times, like, oh my gosh, if all of our members got back, how on earth am I going to be able to, if all my members are asking me these questions, how on earth am I going to get this? And it's going to be so many responses. How am I ever going to respond? And so what we do with GKIC is thousands of new members they're adding. We're inviting them to post their homework, the little pieces that they're doing, to a Facebook group, and then and using a Facebook manager to be able to give feedback as well as the members. So Richard is asking, does this apply to sales teams? And I think that what you'll find is that the principles that this system is built upon are really simply adult education. And so anytime that you're dealing with really actually even adult and or animal training. So anytime you're dealing with anybody, if you can, within the training, give them some instructions, have them implement the instructions, and then get positive feedback for that, you're going to win. And that is the secret, is that being able to have them do an incremental piece and then implement it is going to be the real solution. Now, if it's in terms of sales teams where you actually have a sales team selling your members in, and then your members are into the program, actually that example is here, because with Auto Training Institute, what folks are doing are they're attending a preview seminar that was given by a salesperson, and then the salesperson sells them into the program, and then the member is left to implement. And so there's kind of a handoff between sales and then the coach. And so in that case, it's even more important, if you've got salespeople involved, that you take over the orientation, because quite frankly, you don't have any idea what those salespeople sold or told the prospective customer in order to get them to become a member. Richard, you clarified whether or not this independent contractors, and actually, yes, I've worked with several organizations that are either in the franchise world or in coaching, or where they are working with the customers to try to get a key result, and helping them start with some sort of incremental piece, something that's easy to do and implement, and get that fast win is the key to keeping them on and getting them engaged. So I'm happy to answer some more questions. I'm going to double check that there was something I definitely know that I wanted to go through. Here was another question from Glenna. Is it possible to have a successful membership program in a B2B setting where there's a lot of information can be found for free? Look, there's a lot of questions out there about marketing, a lot of information that our repair shop could benefit from. So it definitely helps, because, and this is a real key, Glenna, that we're going to hammer home here. So think about the question a second. Is it possible to have a successful membership in B2B, and it doesn't really matter if it's B2B or you're marketing to customers, in a setting where a lot of information can be found for free? What I've hoped that you're getting from what I've shared with you is that it really, the information is really only a small part of what you are delivering in an effective membership. When you design your onboarding and you design this correct, so that you are attracting folks based on their pain, you're converting them by showing them a before and after transformation that they want, you are onboarding them with your values, and you're transforming them by giving them an easy win opportunity, that is the value. And the pieces of information could very well be available online for free. Heck, with Weight Watchers, it's essentially that whole business model is eat less and exercise more. I don't need Weight Watchers to tell me how to eat less and put less food in my mouth. But what Weight Watchers does is it gives me a before and after image, a transformation. It gives me a set of values. I understand that calories matter, and that I can't eat only pizza, and I can't. My calories can't be 100% pizza, and I expect to win. I can't expect to lose weight. It gives me a set of values and information and understanding, and then it helps plug me. It helps give me an easy win with the weight goal, and then beyond that, it also plugs me into a community. That is where the value is, and that is where what minimal churn membership is all about. So again, I certainly welcome you to jump into that minimal churn membership program, and certainly welcome you into that. Looks like my PowerPoint is going crazy. So, but with that, I hope that that's been helpful to you. What I encourage you to do is certainly register for that minimal churn membership program. Also, take advantage of that free assessment opportunity. I'd be happy to pull. You can click there. I'd be happy to pull together some reports and information for you. And also, I welcome you. If you have if you implement anything as a result of this program, you update your membership offer, you create a new onboarding sequence, you outline some of your values. If do any of those things and would like for me to take a look at them, just send them to me. You can reply to any of the emails that you received as a result of this registering for this live cast. I sent you a number of messages to remind you. Just reply and send me that information, and I'll be happy to take a look at it and let you know what I think, how on track you are, and give you some input. So that's included as part of your registration for your live cast. So I hope that you enjoyed this program. If you did, please let me know. Email me with any thoughts or post them here in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, Richard, Alan, David, Jason, Patricia. I appreciate you participating. I appreciate everybody that joined me today. Thanks for joining me on that live cast, and I absolutely look forward to seeing you on the next live cast, which is minimal churn membership. You like that alliteration? I thought you did. And we'll see you next month on a minimal churn membership, where we'll get into real details about structure, pricing, how to price your membership, how to grow it with whether you should have free trial memberships or what other type of offer, and all the details on really what are the real foundational keys of minimal churn membership type program. So make sure you get all set up for that, and I look forward to talking with you next month. Thank you so much for joining me today.